are. This is insane. Stay good. Stay good, Zuck. Anyway, apparently one of the Zucksters went on Fox News and had a whole interview about censorship and shit. And I want to see, honestly, listen, Fox News is just like every other fucking mainstream media company, in my opinion. Like, they're obviously going to push their shit, but I want to see them push. I want to see them pressure them. Why exactly now did the Zuck decide to start zucking? Like, what changed for the Zuck?
All right, buckle up. We got a Fox News alert moments ago. Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, announcing they are changing their policies to focus on free speech. CEO Mark Zuckerberg saying this.
We're gonna get back to our roots.
Yeah, all right, we could skip the, I already watched the Zuck.
This is a big deal. Changes include ending its third-party fact-checking program and lifting restrictions on topics such as immigration and gender identity.
Well, is there anything more important to talk about? Also, until now, Meta used automated systems to scan for violations, but found they resulted in too much censorship. So,
Oopsie, we accidentally censored all the people that had opinions that we didn't like. It was an accident. It was a mistake in the system, a flaw in the matrix, if you will.
from now on, they'll focus on tackling illegal and severe violations like terrorism, fraud, to name a few.
And joining us right now to name one, a Fox and Friends exclusive, Meta's Chief Global Affairs.
Violations, but found they resulted in too much censorship. So,
Oopsie, we accidentally censored all the people that had opinions that we didn't like. It was an accident. It was a mistake in the system, a flaw in the matrix, if you will.
from now on, tackling illegal and severe violations like terrorism, fraud, to name
Affairs.
And joining us right now to name one, but found they resulted in too much censorship. So,
Oopsie, we accidentally censored all the people that had opinions that we didn't like. It was an accident. It was a mistake in the system, a flaw in the matrix, if you will.
from now on, tackling illegal and severe violations like terrorism, fraud, to name
Affairs.
illegal and severe violations like terrorism, fraud, affairs. Illegal and severe violations like terrorism, fraud, affairs.
rice is cooked and on the table. I'm just hearing nothing but complaining over there. It's on here. I don't want to hear that. Huh? No?
Pick your hero. Or villain. I'm not judging.
Science solves problems.
Seconds before you attack. Get ready.
一夫当关，万夫莫开。
I am. Don't lie to me. I invented every trick.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the guy.
An unpleasant visage to be sure. Time to vanish. You're quite welcome.
Not. Time to celebrate.
I outnumber you. Invigorating, no? Oh, my favorite. many faces.
That talked me off. Thanks.
Come, my
They're
minion.
going up too far.
You have my full support.
Here they come.
Shape in no time. You're quite welcome.
Captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
I have many faces.
Deep freeze.
Your powers are mine!
We are undefeatable.
The more the merrier. My need. Our foes, my thanks. Together, to victory! I outnumber you. Bless the healing arts. The more the everyone.
I alt. You guys just suck ass.
They dare to lay hands on me.
Their team's capture progress has passed the half.
Oh, I wonder why. Damn, this shit sucks.
It's the grand finale.
Thanks.
I have many faces. All of this would easily be collapsed. Let my enemies try.
Man, that's just fucking ridiculous.
God of lies? If you wish, what society can exist without lies?
Something so fucked up.
Seconds before you attack. Get ready.
You got a nice voice, man.
What the hell?
150 years old?
I stopped counting a long time ago.
Hello?
Don't keep track of that
Hello?
either. But I'm glad to have you back.
What the hell?
Hello?
You got a nice voice, man.
What the hell?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3,
Can you tell me suck ass
Is this shit on?
1.
Hello?
All you need to do is capture the missionary. Got it?
Always come out.
Hello?
But I'm not afraid
Hello?
of showing the world to my real.
Hello?
I have many faces.
Hello?
Is incoming.
By the eye of Agamotto!
That put a spring in my step.
We are Hulk.
The more the merrier. Render me assistance.
Up top. Hello?
Shit on.
Hello?
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 Never miss.
Hello?
Healing for my friends. I outnumber you. I am more than just
We are undefeatable!
I'm everywhere. The more the merrier. My favorite trick. I'm a soldier.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Hello?
No more rebirth from
Pushing too
this
hard.
beacon. Oh, that's for sure.
Friends. The more the merrier. Get in.
This is real firepower! By the eye of Agamotto!
They are in front of us. I outnumber you. You are restored.
Hello?
Hello?
I have triumphed. I am a true team player.
You were bitching so much, by the way.
Hello?
Hello?
Why were you bitching so much at the beginning?
Hello?
Why would you do that?
Hello? Fucking bitching because you guys pushed too hard. Too much. You didn't need to. Went way too far.
Hello?
Why were you bitching so much at the beginning?
Because you let Hulk go down.
Why would you do
The
that?
tanks were in the front. They shouldn't have been so goddamn far. Can't heal you if you're not next to me.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Who are you calling a raccoon, huh?
thing unless the wrong thing is more fun.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Watch this spot. Watch this spot.
I feel like we have some.
A love of things that explode.
Ammo.
I meant
Stay next to it.
excellent bushy tails.
Yeah, I guess that too. Watch this spot. I'm extra
The
lethal.
battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Should have known that. Should have known that. Knew they were.
Destination.
Rockets launching. You're welcome. Back and thanks. Lock and overload. The web of life and destiny. Bring it on. Relay deployed. It ain't cheap.
Any healing is good healing.
I'm extra lethal. I'll patch you up. Scratch my back and fight our enemy. You got one. I can't believe it. On me now.
Just let it down right here.
The widow's pride is
You don't have to let me know every time. Just set it down.
feel the thunder.
Yeah.
Catch you up. I feel.
Put her around this corner right here. Unlimited ammo.
Ready for a boost? Relay deployed. It ain't cheap. This other rocket beacon is so quick. People usually don't let me in this round. Follow the enemy. Nice with this thing. On your 6.
Was that my arrow?
Wonder if I can steal that. Relay deployed. It ain't cheap. Oh. That's it.
I got the manager out of his
Who needs the power up?
Ammo.
faster, my friends.
I just got more dangerous. Could need some healing here.
Behold, the child!
Guys are about to shoot at us. This is real firepower.
halfway there. Keep going.
This is a nice spot. I'm extra lethal. Get ready to fly. Never miss. People usually stop flying around.
I tell you,
Hitting the bad guy. I got the sniper before the sniper
Vehicle
got
reached
me.
its. Keep up the momentum.
Against the world. That's well. I guess. Me. I'm just dying. Sniper.
You're welcome.
Don't worry, fight you where you need to go.
And is good healing.
Team player, that's me. That's me. You're ready for action. Relay deployed. It ain't cheap.
This is your big chance.
That was close. Fucking helpful. You're ready for action.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Open your eyes. Reality is but an illusion.
Freedom's an idea that will never die. I was always meant to be a soldier.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Greetings, Captain.
You know, between Wakanda and Krakoa, I was afraid that we couldn't connect on a personal level anymore, Aurora.
Please, Steve. You know too well that we are more than what we stand for.
I miss you too, Aurora.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Places like this make me miss the 1940s. Here they come! We couldn't connect.
Your god is suffering.
There's still a chance to stop them.
I'm good to go. You think I'm too old for this?
气贯长虹。
Where's Mother? Help me. Ship shaping. I still need you. Hulk isn't the only one with a temper. I'm Hulk.
You can get a perfect stream on every. Wait for that. You can get a perfect stream on every. Wait for that.
Who could it possibly be?
So if I asked you who the most disgusting person on the internet was, chances are people that might make that list.
Welcome to a guide on how to play Loki. I one-tricked this character over a week and climbed from bronze to GM in that time frame. I wanted to go further, but instead chose to spend time making a guide for this character, as I greatly enjoy how this character is designed and want to share my knowledge of the character. I will be going in depth on abilities to a significantly greater extent than that of all other Loki guides on YouTube that I am aware of. That is why I'm making this guide. I have much grievance with how other Loki guides work. They just don't actually go in depth on anything. They don't tell you how the character actually works, they just read the ability screen to you. And if you know of anything that I may have missed in this guide, let me know in the comments. I will also be covering how to position and aim, which will be covered throughout the abilities sections, and summarized towards the end of the video. To start, we will be going over the primary fire, which I think is the most interesting part of his kit. It is an explosion that can both heal allies for 40 health and damage enemies for 30 damage. The cool part about this is that you can do this at the same time, which sets him apart from other characters. It's often a difficult choice, needing to choose between healing the ally being attacked by a flanker or fighting off the attacker. But as Loki, you can do both at once. This turns a 40 health heal or a 30 damage attack into an effective 70 point change in health between the two targets. With illusions, this is bumped up to 140 or even a 210 health difference in a single shot. This is not a rare scenario either. There are a good chunk of melee characters in this game, of whom can be played by either allies or enemies, and naturally create the conditions required for these 210 combined damage and healing shots. This makes for a combined healing and damage per second value of 367.5, or 300 when you account for reloading. If you miss as Loki, you may just damage the enemy or heal the ally, which is still effective and good enough. You can also reduce the chance of you missing by shooting the ground. These are projectiles that have medium fast travel speed. They aren't instant, but they're very fast. While the explosions do less damage the further the center is from the target, the shots don't have damage fall off otherwise. You can shoot someone from as far away as you want and it's going to do the same damage regardless. This makes you a half-decent long-range damage dealer, an effective choke point spammer, and effective at dealing decent damage to faraway stationary targets. Think Punisher's turret or Hela's ultimate or other Loki illusions. As it is a projectile, flying enemies are generally understood to be harder to deal with for heroes with projectile weapons when compared to heroes with hitscan weapons. I feel this over-dramatized. A player with bad aim is going to have a hard time hitting a flying character regardless of munition type, and a player with good aim will do fine with either, even if hitscan is favored. A good projectile player can still shoot a flying target. Loki's primary fire is of sufficient speed such that enemies can't strafe away from the shots on reaction, so if you lead your shot into the sky that the flying character is about to go into, you're good. However, a major issue unique to Loki is that he may be firing from multiple locations that won't quite aim at the same invisible point in space the opposition is going towards. They will instead shoot very far away into the sky. Unprepared clone placement against flying opponents will lead to an inability to fight back, and since you're a healer, you also have to shoot flying allies, not just enemies. It is very important that you are able to effectively heal your allies. As such, there are a few strategies you should implement in order to increase the chance that more of your shots hit a flying ally or enemy. The first is to keep your clones close to you. If they are adjacent to you, their firing path is going to be much more similar to yours. There will be significantly less variance in where they are shooting. When you have your clones close, though, you don't want them side by side with you. You instead want them in front and behind you. This normalizes where they are aiming compared to you, more so than if they were to the left and right of you. This is good enough at shooting enemies and healing the allies if you can lead your shots well enough. However, there is a big issue in that, as a group, you are susceptible to AoE attacks and explosions, such as those from Iron Man. As a flying character, shooting down at mostly stationary targets, he will hit more shots than you, he will outdamage you, and will likely force you to retreat or pop regenerative domain to survive. I would advise against keeping your clones close if you're up against, say, Iron Man. But if you're up against less explosive or AoE-centric flyers, like Star-Lord, Spider-Man to some extent, or Strange to some extent. The clones can both more reliably hit them, but your clones can also serve as human shields to protect yourself from their attacks. Of course, keep in mind, Spider-Man and Strange both have AoE attacks they can use against you, but this at least makes it so that you're trading abilities if you pop Regen Domain or use another clone to defend yourself or anything like that. The second way is to keep your clones close to the target. When under them or on nearby high ground, they can easily hit the target without a need to lead your shots. You actually don't want to lead your shots in this case, as if you lead your shots, your illusions are going to miss rather than hit. So don't lead your shots if you're implementing this strategy. This has the weakness of having you only do 2/3 or 1/3 of your potential damage effectiveness, but it allows you to play at a safer distance that limits the opponent's damage potential towards you as well. The third and often reliable option is to just not shoot the flyer. This is a simple trick to beat any flying enemy in any game. You don't have to shoot the flyer. If you are effective enough at strafing their shots, then you can just focus on attacking people on the ground. And on the ground, you might be fighting a 6v5 while the flyer is up in the air doing nothing. When doing this, you should be positioning yourself and your clones away from the flyer and focus on healing the teammate that is dealing with them. Say you have a hit scan character that can easily deal with them, or maybe instead you can damage the person that's helping the flyer. Now the flyer can of course target you and try and kill you, but if they do that, make it a chore for them. As Loki, you have a lot of options to increase your survivability, so you can leverage them to survive while the flyer does nothing. And again, if they don't target you, then you can just heal your allies or damage the enemy, or both. Oh, also, make sure you lead them to positions where your team can shoot the flyer down. We will get into your survivability options later on. In general, your first plan should be avoiding the flyer, and of course, if the flyer is a teammate that needs healing, try and direct your ally to heal them. They are significantly more likely to be more equipped to heal them. Or ask the flyer to stand still when they need healing, around cover ideally so that they don't get shot down, and so you can heal them and get them back into the fight. The order of priority, and then implement an aforementioned strategy to take them down. Continuing with other primary fire tips, by nature of being explosive and 3 at once, they can be incredibly potent at destroying the environment. It is very much worth learning the maps and how they get destroyed, as the rubble often falls in predictable ways and can be used to your advantage. If someone is behind cover, you can often instantly expose them by just shooting the cover. Your fire rate is then fast enough to get another shot in on them before they have time to react. Alternatively, you can shoot the ground adjacent to the cover to hit the target and explode the environment a little as useful collateral. Be careful, you don't want to give your enemy a new escape route, or worse, give an ally a pit to fall into. This happens all the time, and I am so sorry to all the teammates I have screwed over by making them fall directly onto a Wolverine. You will just have to learn through experience when you can or cannot safely heal an ally without putting them in peril. You can avoid it by shooting a non-destructible object adjacent to them, or maybe the wall behind them, or hitting a headshot that's away from the ground, or most reliably, allowing your other healer to heal them instead. Downtime between shots can be used to use other abilities. Ideally, you never stop shooting and always use abilities in between shots. If your fingers are fast enough, you can use 2 abilities in your downtime, which is most applicable when placing down an illusion and then regen domain. You shoot, illusion, regen domain, shoot, and yeah. Your reload is 1.3 seconds. Note that all of your abilities cancel the reload animation. This can be used to your benefit by canceling the reload when the visualizer goes past about 3 o'clock, or when you hear the sound cue or see the visual cue. This makes your 1.3 second reload into about a 1 second reload, increasing your healing and damage per second, accounting for reloads to about 312.5 healing and damage per second. Small, but notable. Only do this if the adrenaline isn't too high. You don't want to panic and cancel the reload too early and be forced to go through it again, wasting a precious second which could be used to fire off 2 more shots, which I'll remind you that is 420 potential healing and damage. You can reload while invisible. If you already planned on using Deception, or want to not do nothing while reloading, you can go invisible to provide a small bit of safety and heal a bar or two's worth of HP. Every little bit counts when trying to get an edge in the team fight. This is a lot of stuff involved with just the primary fire, and that's so cool. I love it. I probably missed something too, so again, anything I missed, let me know. I want to know. I will continue talking about abilities in the order they appear on the hero's ability screen in the main menu, largely because I want to talk about ultimate targets next. So first, general tips. When you ult, be mindful of the fact you could be losing a healer, if you choose a Vanguard or damage character. It is most reliable to transform into another healer, and you should only choose the other two in niche circumstances or when you know you have the healing to take down the other team. For example, in a 3v3, you have the other healer, you might want a damage or Vanguard to take care of the other team. Another example is going a certain hero, such that you can combo with one of your allies or counter one of your enemy's ultimates. We will go into specific options later on here. Note there is an option in the settings to let you confirm your transformation with a second button press, akin to how you need to confirm it for your clone placement. I personally prefer this off, and wish there was a way to turn it off for clone placement as well, but it is good to know that it exists and can be used for some tech that will be explained later. Be sure to use your abilities before ulting. You're going to be in your ultimate for about 15 seconds, which is the length of your doppelganger and deception abilities, and a large majority of the cooldown of your regenerative domain ability. You may as well put your illusion in a sneaky spot, or have your regen domain out and protecting people, or yourself, as you start to cast your ultimate. You can further use your ultimate to protect yourself from a flank by simply transforming into the guy flanking you, which allows you to either safely solo ult the flanker or try and beat them in the duel before going on to ult the enemy team. This is one of those niche circumstances where it's worth transforming into a duelist, since it's better to be a duelist with one less healer than to be one less healer in general, because you're dead. Make sure you don't accidentally use the same support ultimate as your teammate at the same time. This is largely a waste. This can be avoided by waiting for them to ult first, or to see that they don't have their ultimate ready. So you can just go ahead and use yours. Or you can communicate your intentions through team chat, though I for one have never used voice chat. It is not at all necessary to climb in rank. If that's your thing, of course, go for it. It's very useful. Now for some specific transformations. Luna Snow is the easiest and most reliable target. Your ultimate is only a little longer than hers, so you can easily just hit Q twice and call it a day. I recommend doing this if you are a new Loki player and don't want to screw up your ultimate, and most of all if you are a new player in general. It's a very easy, very beginner-friendly ultimate. To improve the effectiveness of the swap overall, use Snow's other abilities before her ultimate, in particular the heal share and the freeze. The heal share means you don't have to babysit that person or chase them down as much while you're ulting, and the freeze can be a playmaker, canceling ultimates or a dive or whatever else. Now, of course, don't do this if you need to ult ASAP. Mantis works like a harder Luna Snow, with potentially higher reward in certain situations. First note, you have to actually learn Mantis. This is not like Luna Snow, where the skill floor for her ultimate is almost underground. You actually have to learn how to play Mantis. Now, I am not taking the liberty to write a Loki guide, and a Mantis guide, and a Rocket guide, and an every other character guide, such that you are able to use Loki's ultimate as effectively as possible. At least, not yet. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will happily spend my days doing that. For now, you will need to work on learning Mantis yourself. Some quick tips are that the sleep can cancel ultimates, and that you should always be damage boosting yourself. Second note, this ultimate is about as powerful as Luna Snow's overall in the majority of situations, if you can actually play Mantis, with a few key differences. Advantages Mantis has over Snow is that you are still in full control of your character while you use your ultimate. You can personally shoot enemies rather than relying on your team to do so. While Luna Snow's ultimate is most useful in a 6v6, Mantis' ultimate is most useful when it is not a 6v6, a 3v3 or 2v2, where you want to do more than just stall. The main downside is that the ultimate is shorter, limiting your stall potential and chances for you and your team to make a play happen during the ultimate. But this can be covered by making plays yourself. A Mantis swap can be quite rewarding and quite damaging. She is an extremely strong character in terms of damage output. It is well worth the time to learn Mantis. Next up is Rocket Raccoon. While he doesn't have a defensive ultimate, he does have a defensive ability that effectively works as an ultimate. The BRB can quickly be thrown down and revive anyone who gets killed during the ultimate, and at full health too, which is incredibly useful. They can instantly get back in the fight and get value out of your damage boost from your actual ultimates. And the damage boost is nothing to scoff at. 40% is a lot. So long as your team knows how to work with it, or at least you know how to work with it, you can get big value out of this. You don't have to learn Rocket, but it is useful to at least understand how his primary fire and secondary fire work. And if you want to learn Rocket, there's a lot going on with how his jet boost works. He again is not a very defensive choice, but you can somewhat mitigate this with the pseudo ultimate in the revive and with jetpack tech. Find guides online for those that to some extent exist. Overall, they're not too difficult, they're reliable, and they're a powerful choice in the right circumstances. Adam Warlock will always have a great niche in his ultimate. A mass revive will always have its use cases. The issue arises in how you keep your team alive after you revive them. Again, this is a Loki guide, not a Warlock guide, but the idea is that you want to revive your allies in a safe area that will prevent your team from being killed again after being born again. The issue then becomes that you have to target Adam in order to become Adam, meaning you have to be in line of sight of Adam, meaning you have to be in line of sight of the enemy. There is a remedy or tech you can perform to mitigate this through the double confirmation setting. This setting makes you hit a second button in order to confirm that the target you chose is the one you want to transform into. There is a generous 3-second window between button presses that the game bestows, which allows you to target Adam, go behind cover, and then activate the ultimate. This allows for stealthier Resurrects plays than you could perform otherwise. You can also transform into Adam and then wait a couple seconds before resurrecting, but this is a little bit more dangerous as the opposition is looking for a transformed Loki, and can use tab to see who Loki became and react accordingly. Another tech you can do is to delay the resurrect for a very long time. Another thing you can do if the Adam is on your team is to die, get resurrected by Adam, notice that the Adam rezzed your team in a terrible spot, pop your field, teleport away, transform into Adam, and pop the ultimate again to revive anyone who got killed instantly. There is a lot of potential with Adam's ultimate, however it's only theoretical. I haven't been able to achieve any of this in game yet. Not to say I haven't transformed into Adam before, I just have kept it simple. I don't know, it feels like when I play Adam, I just forget how strong Adam is. It's weird. I noticed this with other Adam players too. There's so much potential with him that hasn't been unlocked yet. Anyways, you can just pop alt and go around corner and pop the resurrect, then hit the long cooldown button to keep your team alive long enough to heal them up. Cloak and Dagger is another simple healing ultimate that you can pop, and it'll last for about as long as your transformation. To not die after using your ultimate, make sure you stay in the path, and to make it easier to stay in the path, try to make a triangle around the point, such that you effectively retreat back to your starting point after ulting, which is generally safer than wherever you could end up. You have also covered the point with healing, which makes the whole thing relatively safe to walk through. Otherwise, you kinda have to learn 2 characters to play this character, so get to work on learning them. Finally, Jeffrey. The Land Shark is unique in that his ultimate is primarily used to personally murder by your hand the other team. The ultimate has many flaws that high-level players exploit, but something you can do that Jeff can't is teleport into the enemy, then turn into Jeff, then ult on the spot, causing the enemy to either get eaten up or scatter. Enemies usually see Jeff walking up to them, so being able to ult directly under them without them being able to react in time causes them to either get eaten or to scatter and be less effective in taking you down after you ult. This can make your ultimates as Jeff more impactful than the average Jeff. If you see a juicy opportunity arise, go for it. Otherwise, Jeff has a very low skill floor, so you can easily make use out of him. With healers out of the way, here are a few non-tacticians that are worth mentioning. First, anyone trying to assassinate you would be in for a surprise if you turn into them and solo ult them. If you are confident and want to be smart, you can kill them without using their ultimate and then go ult the other team afterwards, potentially leading to more value. Magneto's ultimate can be used to counter other projectile ultimates. While your typical Luna or Mantis or Cloak ultimate can be destroyed by a well-placed maximum pulse, the opposite is the case with a Meteor M sucking up the maximum pulse. Try hard to get a kill with the Meteor on an enemy healer to offset the fact that your team no longer has two. Speaking of maximum pulse, Iron Man's ultimate is great and very good at breaking through enemy support ultimates. If Hulk is on your team, you get access to the scary Gamma Beam, which is a nice boon to have. Ever have Strange place a portal right above your team, fall through it, ult, and get a team kill? You can do something similar by teleporting in, ulting, and ulting again. Note you technically have time to set up a portal, and you can hypothetically copy your on cooldown Strange to get a second portal up earlier than expected, but I haven't been able to do this in practice. If you can do it, and do it effectively, that can be a very strong tool to have at your disposal. Storm allegedly has one of the best ultimates in the game. I wouldn't know, because I haven't seen her yet. But if there's a Storm on your team or the other team, maybe try it out. Groot can be cool with the ultimate bringing the enemies together and potentially comboing with someone on your team's ultimate. This is a nice niche to have and can lead to good clips. I have a clip somewhere of it, hopefully I can find it. I also have a cool Wolverine clip and a Magic one and a Star-Lord one if I can find them. Last one of particular note, Hela's a strong character, and her morph is of course great. Any meta character is probably going to be a good ultimate target for you. Lightning round, some good non-tactician ultimates that can stall are Captain America, Hulk, Penny Parker, Wolverine, Scarlet Witch, and Iron Fist. Some good high damage ultimates include Star-Lord, Punisher, Winter Soldier, and whatever damage characters you are good at. Most importantly, that last one. You can also counter other ultimates with any that stun, such as Spider-Man or Namor. Loki's strongest ability, and perhaps one of the strongest in the game, is Regenerative Domain. Spawning 3 fields that converts damage taken into healing taken and providing healing over time makes for effectively 3 areas of complete invincibility. You can tank a maximum pulse to the face while your team gets stormed by Khonshu, and 2 of the 3 fields will cover both. Some amount of etiquette must be practiced when placing, as these have a lengthy 25-second cooldown. Though do note that mathematically, this ability has 20% uptime at maximum potential, as the fields last for 5 seconds of the 25-second cooldown. These domains can be destroyed by enemies shooting the crystal at the top of their stems. This can be remedied by stacking your fields around each other, and while the fields don't protect each other, enemies will have to break all 3 before damaging a target within the fields. Alternatively, you can hide the crystals around a corner while the field pokes out a little, keeping the crystal safe and anyone in the field effectively invincible and free to poke out of cover, against a Hawkeye or as a Hawkeye, for instance. The main bread and butter use case for the fields, particularly when ults aren't charged, is to pop a clone on an endangered Vanguard and pop the field right after. This will likely save their lives, fully heal them, and get them back in the fight. Ideally, you save multiple lives with this, or at least get a mass heal off. The most straightforward way to save someone is to place the illusion directly on them. More effective choices include putting the illusion in the direction the person is retreating, or the way you want them to retreat. Pushes, pulls, and grabs are all effective counters to the fields. These can come from Groot's ultimate, Magneto's push, Thor's grab, Magic's uppercut, the knockdown from Namor's ultimate, Spider-Man's grab, Winter Soldier's grab, Wolverine's grab, technically Hulk's aerial grab, Jeffrey's ultimate, and any source of knockback strong enough and placed well enough to knock people out or away from the domain. Be mindful of these before placing. For example, don't use your field until Groot uses his ultimate and then use your field to counter his ultimate. You almost always want to save the field for an ultimate if an ultimate is likely coming up, or at least an important cooldown, as this can completely change the tide of a battle. Now, it isn't your fault if you have to use the field to defend yourself from a flanker, so don't hesitate to use it if you are being flanked and need to use it to survive, but it is your fault that you put yourself in a flankable position to begin with. You have 2, technically 3 other ways to escape a flank, that being teleporting, turning invisible, or transforming. The regenerative domain should be your last resort. Well, the ultimate should be your last resort, but depends on the situation. Now, there is one notable exception to this. If the flanker used everything to get to you, it is reasonable to pop the field to kill the flanker, as they won't be able to escape too easily, and if you kill them, you turn the fight into a 6v5, which is a win even if you quote-unquote wasted the field. Next up, we finally get to what makes Loki truly Loki, the doppelganger. First, aiming them, you can use the maximum distance of the illusion placement as a guide for how far you want to be from your team, generally. If you need to quickly save an ally, you want to be able to place an illusion in a regenerative domain as soon as you can, so if you're too far away, you've kind of failed your team. As such, use this maximum distance as a good guide. You also don't want to be too close, as this makes you more likely to get damaged and more likely to need to pop your domain to survive when you could have been further away. As such, use this maximum distance as a good guide for Loki positioning. You're a long-range character, so you want to be as far as you possibly can. There are several ways to place your illusions, but there's some nuance to it, and I want to bring up some formations you can use in general situations. First is the firing line. This is a very simple formation. Put 2 clones adjacent to your position and get to shooting. This basically makes you a single character with 3 times the damage and healing prowess. You aren't really using your clones as clones, they're just like, you're just upgrading your firing potential. It's reliable, of course, if you don't have time to put your clones elsewhere, but can be exploited by explosions or AoE effects, and isn't spread out enough for effective regenerative domain usage, in my opinion. I've seen a lot of players who prefer to stack their domains, but I don't think this is the way to do it. Next up is paths and lines. This is a more intentional firing line. If you position your clones a little spaced out, such that they make a line or a triangle, you can create a larger, more effective area of regenerative domain for you and your team to walk through or around. Next up is what I affectionately name bombardiers. This has you place yourself and or your clones at various high ground positions. This lets you rain down fire from relative safety. Bread and butter on certain maps like Hydra or Tokyo. Useful versus melee enemies as they may have a hard time reaching you at a high ground position. Look around on all the maps to see where you can place some sneaky illusions. Another option is human shields. This has you place your clones directly in the team fight